Commissioners meeting. Join us for the invocation given by Commissioner Goodman and join us for the pledge.
Let us stand. Gentlemen, remove your covers, please. Let us pray. Our Father and our God in heaven, we come to Thee with thankful and prayerful hearts. We ask for your forgiveness for all of our many sins. We ask for your guidance tonight as we consider these matters for the citizens. We ask, Father, your protective covering for all of our people in uniform, whether local law enforcement or the military overseas and in far-flung places. Father, we ask your blessings on those who need healing, and we pray for our farmers as they begin sow seeds to make crops to feed the bounteous tables that we will enjoy in the future from your benefits. All of these things we ask in thy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Katie.
All commissioners are present.
All right. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Got a first and second to adopt the agenda. All in favor? Motion carries. This brings us to approval of the minutes. If there's no changes to the minutes from the March 18th regular meeting minutes, can I get a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor? Motion carries. This brings us to our first presentation, or only presentation.
Yes, tonight we have a proclamation recognizing the month of April as National County Government Month. Each year since 1991, the National Association of Counties has encouraged counties across the country to elevate awareness of county responsibilities, programs, and services. And whereas Camden County, Georgia is proudly served by 408 full-time employees and 266 part-time and temporary staff who work diligently to support residents and visitors, providing essential services through emergencies and daily operations alike. Now therefore be it resolved that the Camden County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim April 2025 as National County Government Month and encourage all county officials, employees, schools, and residents to participate in county government celebration activities. And if we could have you come down, I believe Claire would like to get a picture.
Okay. All right, this brings us to our first public comment section of the night. We'll limit it to 3 minutes and agenda items only. Anybody ready to speak?
Yes, sir. Mr. Greghausen.
Greg, can you?
Hit the button on the microphone.
Oh, look at that. Okay, I got here early enough that I was able to talk to Mr. Casey and this young lady here and a gentleman sitting. I was going to make comments about the wilderness park, whatever you want to call it, nature walk through the And my questions have been answered. The lady's on top of it, and the best thing about it, I think, is I talked to the gentleman, and I don't know what's in the works, but they're trying to do some stuff where some of the county employees are gonna take over maintenance of some of the stuff that the PSA is supposed to have been doing, and they ain't been doing it. So that's really good news. And that's all I have to say about that. I just want all of y'all, if you haven't been down to the boat ramp, you guys hit a home run on that one, man. That's something to be proud of. And the pickleball courts, people are using those. I mean, I sent Mr. Casey some pictures, but, you know, the other night, there was probably 25 people playing on them and waiting to play on them. So it's being well utilized. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Greg. Anybody else, Katie?
No, sir, not for this.
Anybody else wish to speak before the board? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Kelsey?
Good evening, Commissioners. This agenda item is for your consideration to purchase new fire guard fuel tanks for Fire Rescue Headquarters from Guardian Fuel Technologies. The fuel tanks are over 30 years old. One of the diesel tank recently failed, causing an oil leak. Hopkins Gowan received 3 quotes on Camden County's behalf. Of the 3, Guardian was the lowest quote and also with the shortest lead time. Guardian's quote was for $58,665.42. Hopkins Gowan will receive a 5% fee for their assistance with the project and also for the maintenance fee, which includes connecting the lines and changing the filters on the tanks. Staff recommends approval to purchase 2 new fuel tanks for Fire Rescue Headquarters from Guardian Fuel Technologies.
Thank you, Kelsey.
You're
Can I get a
welcome.
motion on this item?
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a first and second to approve the purchase of the new fuel tanks. All in favor? Thank you.
The second agenda item that I have is for your consideration to approve the award of Browntown Wilderness Park Recreational Enhancement St. Mary's Overlook Trail to CWA Development. The Board Commissioners approved the grant at the January 7th meeting. Purchasing issued an RFP and received 1 proposal that met all requirements. CWA's proposal came in at $221,400. CWA will be responsible for replacing the decking with CCA .60 wood that has a lifespan of 18 to 20 years, and the construction has a 1-year warranty. Camden County will be responsible for new signs, trash cans, benches, and the millings for the lower half of the trail. The county will use the remaining $64,600 to complete the rest of the project. Staff recommends approval to the Browntown enhancement to CWA Development.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve this item.
Second.
Got a first and second.
Discussion?
Sure.
This would, you said a 20-year lifespan,
It's 18 to 20-year lifespan, yes, sir.
and I realize that seems like a long time, but 20 years will go by in a quick flash and in a hurry. Did you explore the opportunity, or would you explore the opportunity for some of the new Trex-type synthetic materials? They're made from recycled nylon carpeting, and they have a projected lifespan of many, many times that over. But the cost is not many times over, because we're, you know, it's going to be there for a long time. We might as well put something that'll last for a long time. There are examples down in Florida of park benches and decking and stuff on the beach that's been there for 25 years now. No signs of wear on it. That's tough stuff.
We left it up to the contractors to quote it.
We did. So we spoke with the contractors during the bid. They chose the only one bid. We had a pre-bid meeting, and we had several vendors come out. We only had one vendor who chose to bid this project, and they bid the marine grade wood. And they mentioned to us that the cost would be double to triple the amount that this marine grade wood cost. And unfortunately, with the grant, we only had $286,000, which this came in at $221, but in total, and that's including the millings for the trail, which wouldn't have fit within the scope of our budget, unfortunately.
All right, so I'm hearing you saying that it was considered, but the cost was prohibitive?
That's correct.
And as long as it was considered, then thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Evening, Commissioners, Chairman. I come to you tonight from the Sheriff's Office to ask for approval to purchase a 2024 Ford Bronco for the Department of Navy mission on Cumberland Island. This vehicle is budgeted and approved for by the Department of Navy and is fully funded by Swiftland. I believe it's a total of $57,326. That's $53,000 for the vehicle, $4,000 for the upfit of the vehicle. It's 100% funded by the Department of Navy.
All right, can we get a motion on this item?
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the vehicle under Swiftland.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second to approve the purchase of the vehicle for the,
Discussion.
sure.
One of the things too is, and I did ask the question on the $4,000, and I had them email over, you're getting the winches, the emergency lighting, the LED floodlights, and all the labor is involved in this as well.
That's correct, and that's also funded by the Department of Navy, too.
Right. And I know it basically, we understand that the county's not out any money at all for this. This is all Swiftland. Am I correct?
Yes, sir, for the mission on the island.
Right. I appreciate the way you work with these folks, and I appreciate what you're doing, so I agree.
Any more discussion?
I have a question. It's not necessarily for the sheriff, but I have seen on like the past financial reports that we were still waiting for reimbursement for Swiftland purchases previously. Are we still waiting on those, Miss Nancy? Sorry to call you up there like that.
And that's probably correct.
Pardon?
That's probably correct. They're a little behind.
Yeah, they are a couple months behind, but I have been working with the Sheriff's Office Finance Director, and she's been in communication with Swiftland. I believe they're funded through November, so I think that there's 3 months, but they're just slow, but it has been coming in, and we do expect it to come in.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Any more discussion? All right, all in favor? Jim, you voted in favor?
I did, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, next one, who's giving that? That's on us, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, sir, that one's on y'all.
All right, this is an appointment to the Coastal Regional Commission Aging Services Council. Can I get a motion for appointment on that? All right, hearing none, I'll make the motion, we appoint Lynn Mitchell to this board.
Second.
Got a first and second to appoint Lynn Mitchell to the Coastal Regional Commission Agency Services Council. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. All right, number 5.
I'll take care of this one for you, Commissioners. Good evening, gentlemen. Just a little bit of background about our strategic plan. If you recall, back in January, over 3 days, staff met for a full day, you as a commission met for a full day, and then there was a half day for each side to discuss with our consultant, Lal Summik and Associates, to prepare the action agenda that you have in your packet. Also in front of you, I've placed the vision, the goals, and the mission statement. Just a couple highlights from that will be that In total, there's 112 different management and progress items planned for the next year, 20 major projects, and then for ranked priorities that you as a commission ranked, there are 21 total between the policy agenda, which has 10, and the management agenda, which has 11. I can answer any question of those. I can give you those policy items if you'd like, but I didn't want to take too much time.
All right, just for general information, the strategic plan is how we develop these meetings. But before we go on to vote on the plan as a whole, I would like to make a motion that we amend the strategic plan to include an animal control facility as part of the public safety complex.
Second.
All right, got a first and second. Any discussion on that item? All in favor of adding that? All right, motion carries. All right, are there any other additions to this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to also amend the 2025, 2030, and the 2040 Camden County Strategic Plan and Action Agenda to add the replacement general aviation airport development, direction, and county actions as a top priority in the policy agenda. It's important to note that 90% of the funding for this project, excuse me, will come from the Federal Aviation Authority, along with an additional 5% in funding from the Georgia Department of Transportation. We need to continue to educate our community as well as ourselves about the importance of this resource for economic development and growth in Camden County.
Okay, that's your motion.
Yes,
I'll
kind of
second-
long, but I had to read it.
I'll second that. So you want to amend the strategic
Strategic
plan
plan.
to add the airport as a top priority.
Absolutely.
All right, any discussion?
Yeah, so where does the airport fall in the strategic plan currently? Is it a high priority and it's just not a top priority?
I can answer that if you'd like.
Yes, ma'am.
It was something that was listed as a priority, but it was not ranked top or high at the moment.
Right.
In discussions with the JDA, they have not indicated that this is a top priority for them. I don't know if anyone's here from the JDA tonight, but I do not want to hear them included in any discussion that says that they are thinking that this is a top priority. Quite the contrary. Thank you.
And Mr. Goodman, I'm not sure if you had the same meeting I did, but I remember them explicitly saying that this isn't necessarily even an economic driver.
We made the trip to Atlanta, met with the FAA. I can speak from personal experience. When we were there, I had the same questions that you're asking now. We met with James. I heard the same stuff from James. But I also asked that question point blank of the Federal Aviation Administration when we were there in Atlanta with them as to why, when people ask if Camden's a place that they have to have an airport, the answer was, we don't send you people with airport because you don't have one. To me, back when our airport was shut down in St. Mary's, the mill used to use it. I can tell you for a fact that they used it. Industry does use an airport. However, they were willing to shut our airport down, give us $5 million for infrastructure on a new one, and then work with us on rebuilding another one. This is not a new airport. This is them fixing what they kind of messed up for us in the first place. So this is basically asking that we continue to do the research. You know, like you said, you got 100 and something strategic items that you're dealing with. And this one here, I want to stay at the forefront because it's important that we continue to move forward with it.
If I may, I mean, I know we all worked together on this strategic plan over a 2-day period, us, staff, and it did end up on the strategic plan as a priority, but not a top priority. I would hate to supersede all that hard work that we did and try to jump the line there.
Not trying to jump the line. Actually, I was the one that voted that it be a priority, but not a number one priority. However, I reconsidered and I brought it back. So
And by including it as a top priority, does this now, heighten the amount of effort and resources we're going to pour into making it happen
Well,
this year?
to me, number one, we've got to get the community to buy in, to see that it's a necessity. That's our role. That's what we've got to do. We can't force anything. I know, and I'll just throw the elephant in the room out there, that people are trying to tie this with the spaceport and the $12 million that was spent on that. None of us spent that money. And the deal is this: if you've got a state, you've got the FAA that is not taking tax money, but taking actually fees that they charge for tickets, kind of like when they used to try to do the sin tax with liquor and cigarettes. You know, only if you buy a ticket do you put money towards this. They also told us that day that they want us to have this airport. Somebody's going to have this airport. And they would like to fund it for Camden County because they did shut ours down. However, I'm pretty sure, and I don't, you can quote me if you want, because that's okay with me, but there is a time period here as far as starting to move forward in this. I would like to see us move forward. I would like to see us get the 90% of the 50 million or whatever it costs to build this airport to move forward and help our community. I'm talking 15, 20 years down the road. You don't know what it is, but you've got someone that wants to actually basically give you an airport and you're going to turn it down. Doesn't make sense to me. That's why I want to make it a number one priority.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor of adding the airport to the strategic plan as a top priority? Those opposed? All right. Any other additions? All right. Now we need a motion to adopt the strategic plan as amended. I'll make a motion to adopt it.
Second.
We got a first and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this brings us to item number 6.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. This is for the approval of the funding split for completing the audit for the District Attorney's Office. Glenn County has initiated an audit and retained Baker Tilly Advisory Group, and the cost of currently is estimated somewhere between $50,000 and $75,000 to complete the audit. And the reason that we are completing this audit with all the rest of the counties in our judicial circuit is because of some of the increasing financial difficulties that the office has faced. The proposed cost-sharing model would generally, it's going to follow a population-based formula from the 2020 census, with the exception of Glenn County, which is willing to contribute a greater share than is proportional to their population, which is about 42%, and they're willing to cover about 50% of the total audit cost. And the remaining 50% would be divided proportionally between us, Camden County, Wayne, Appling, and Jeff Davis counties, based on each county's population. So using that formula, Camden County would be around 23%. So roughly the audit would cost between $11,500 and $18,000, going between that $50,000 and $75,000. It may be a little bit less or a little bit more, but all of the rest of the counties in our district are doing this as well, and so staff recommends approval for this item.
Okay, I know everybody wants to know where the money went. So I'll make a motion to approve this item.
Second.
Got a first and second to approve the funding for the forensic audit for the DA's office. Any discussion?
And Seth, we're not quite sure what our share of that's going to be yet, correct?
I apologize.
That's,
I'm sorry, I did not mean to cause that. But, it's 23 point some odd percent. It's going to range between 11.6 at the low end for 50,000 to up to a little over 17.3 for 75,000. But we're estimating between 50 and 75,000 for that.
For our share or total?
Total. So our share is
for
between
our share.
11,000 and 18,000.
So the total cost is between $50,000 and $75,000 is what we're looking at. But Glenn County is procuring this. It's just we'll be pay for a portion of the audit.
So our share would be like between 11 and 17,000.
Yes.
I honestly think, with all the issues going with the DA, with funding this is money well spent, I think. I think it's necessary.
Correct.
I think it's important to go ahead and do this because of transparency, to find out actually what happened with the DA. That's a cheap fix, if you ask me.
Well, this could end up being really helpful for his office as well. I know there's not a lot of distrust and fear for lack of transparency, and this will at least give people peace of mind.
Right. I agree.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All right, motion carries.
By the way, Jackie, that was very effective.
Woke me up.
All right, at this time, we need a motion to adjourn the regular meeting and convene a solid waste authority meeting.
Make a motion, we adjourn the regular meeting and convene the Solid Waste Authority.
All right, this time, we need to pass the gavel to the county attorney. We'll just symbolically pass it to her. So we need to make an election for the Solid Waste Authority chair. So, Jackie, you look surprised.
Hey, could I just pause? Did someone second the motion to adjourn the meeting?
They did not.
Oh,
Okay,
Second.
okay,
all in favor?
thank you.
Now,
I won't touch the microphone this time.
okay.
Okay. Is there a motion well, first, we're conducting this meeting now, the Solid Waste Authority. Is there a motion to elect the chair of the Solid Waste Authority?
Make a motion to elect the chair of the Solid Waste Authority.
Do we have a nomination for that position?
I don't have a nomination. Oh, I think it was up to him. I'm sorry.
No, well,
I can't hear very well tonight. I had a cold.
I can nominate myself.
I move to nominate Ben Casey to be chairman of the Solid Waste Authority.
Second.
You got a first and a second? All in favor? Oh, you actually supposed to be doing that.
That's okay. Is there anyone opposed? Then, Mr. Casey, you are the chair.
Oh, congratulations, Ben.
Do we have any nominations for a vice chair?
I nominate Mr. Cheek for vice chair, since he's vice chair.
Second.
Any discussion?
All
Okay.
in favor?
Any opposed?
Robbie, you're it.
Are there any amendments to the solid?
I'll take it over.
Okay,
since-
got it. Great.
All right, are there any amendments to the Solid Waste Authority agenda? All right, hearing none, can we have a motion to adopt the solid waste agenda?
I move to adopt the Solid Waste Authority agenda.
All right, got a first and a second? All in favor? All right, motion carries. All right, this brings us to the approval of the minutes from December 10th, 2024, Solid Waste Authority minutes. Can I get a motion to accept those minutes? I'll make a motion we accept them. Do we have a second?
Second.
Y'all weren't there, so. Yeah. Y'all can still vote on it if you read them and are okay with them. All right, we got a first and a second. All in favor? Those opposed, or are you abstained? All right, this brings us to our first public comment section for solid waste. We're limited to 3 minutes. Anybody wish to speak before the board? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Okay, Campbell, you're up.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners. This presentation is about the Solid Waste Management Plan Consistency Determination Public Hearing. I'm going to take you through this PowerPoint to explain everything. The agenda, number 1, is a call to order, public hearing and introductions. Opening remarks, number 2. Number 3 is explanations for consistency for the applicant. Number 4 is public input. 5 is closing comments. Camden County Landfill has a long history of excellence in providing solid waste services to its citizens. The project. The existing MSW and C&D industrial landfills are located within a tract of county-owned land of approximately 1,327 acres. The proposed MSW vertical expansion is completely within the currently permitted MSW area. The proposed MSW disposal area, about 79 acres, is located within an area currently permitted for the C&D slash industrial disposal. The horizontal expansion of the C&D industrial landfill is within the lands currently owned by the county. SNWP consistency evaluation, that's solid waste management plan. The evaluation reviewed relevant factors including floodplains, rivers, and wetlands, water supply, watersheds, and recharge areas, local, state, and federal lands, fault areas and seismic impact zones, unstable areas, airports, public water supplies, and other siting criteria. This is the proposed facility areas. If you look at that pink area right there, that would be the horizontal expansion of the MSW landfill. Those that are familiar with the landfill, that dark square in the middle, that's the big hill for C&D right now. And just to the bottom of that is where we're at with C&D right now. And then that peach colored area will be the expansion of the C&D area. That green area up at the top right, that's our current MSW area. Now this is the MSW landfill vertical expansion. What we want to do is maximize the permitted land that we have now before we move over to the horizontal expansion. So what that means is once cell 5 was just completed, but once cell 5 is finished, we'll be able to go up another lift or two higher across all 5 cells and also fill in the terraces on the side to maximize the space that we have. Now this is a map of the C&D area. You can see kind of the mustard color area would be the new MSW cells for the horizontal expansion. And that's going to take some of the already permitted area away from the C&D. And we would expand the C&D a little bit in the pink area right there. The reasoning for that is we have over 90 years of remaining capacity left in the C&D as of now. We don't need that much, but we do need more MSW area. So once this expansion is complete, that would create at least another 50 years remaining capacity for C&D and MSW landfills. Okay, so here's the evaluation. Read it off my paper, sorry. A site investigation was performed to evaluate the suitability of the project versus the criteria listed for the solid waste management plan. The project is consistent with the solid waste management plan. Specifically, it was found that the project is not limited by any of the exclusionary or restricting factors listed in the solid waste management plan. The proposed project was found to not have negative impacts on the county's existing waste management facilities, as it is an expansion of those existing facilities. The proposed project would increase adequate disposal capacity for the county. The MSW landfill currently has less than 7 years of life remaining. The proposed project will not have any negative impact on the county's ability to reduce the amount of waste disposed. Planning requirements. Solid waste management plan factors. Number 1, impact on existing waste management systems. Number 2, impact on adequate collection and disposal capability. Number 3, impact upon achieving waste reduction goal. Evaluation conclusions. The proposed expansions were found to be consistent with the requirements of the solid waste management plan. It has the advantage of being located on land already owned and permitted for waste disposal by the county, or for the county. It meets the current need for adequate waste disposal capacity, and it helps the county meet its solid waste management plan planning requirements. Solid waste management plan consistency. This is the demonstration of consistency with Camden County Solid Waste Management Plan. Demonstrations have been presented showing that the analysis indicates the project is not limited by the Solid Waste Management Plan exclusionary or restrictive factors and was determined to be consistent. We open the floor to any public comments regarding the consistency with the Solid Waste Management Plan. Does anyone have any comments from the public? All right.
Anybody from the board have a comment? Nobody from the public wanted to comment, so, all right, go on, Cam.
Okay, so the closing and final comments. Proposed project is consistent with the SWMP. Evaluation of the solid waste management plan factors indicated that the expansion of both the C&D and MSW landfills are consistent with the goals of that plan. It has the advantage of being located on land already owned and permitted for waste disposal. It meets the current need for adequate waste disposal capacity. It helps the county meet its solid waste management plan planning requirements. Meeting conclusion, the Camden County Board of Commissioners and Solid Waste Management personnel appreciate your attention to this important project.
Thank you, Cam.
You're welcome. So basically, we're running low on permitted area for the MSW, and we've got more than enough for the C&D. So we're taking some of that land and turning and permitting that for MSW that's been permitted for C&D, which will leave us with at least 50 years remaining capacity for both.
Our plan was originated in 2017. Do you think we need to update it anytime soon, or?
I'll defer that question to
Good
Robert.
Until 2030, so.
Yeah. What you're doing now is consistent with that plan, so I think I would think about it as you get closer to 2030. I don't think there's a reason to update it before then.
But tonight, you need us, make an authorization for me to sign the consistency letter, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, can I get a motion on that item for the chairman to sign the solid waste management plan consistency letter?
So move.
Second.
So first and second, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. All right, thank you, Cam.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Campbell, are those signs actually in existence, or is that AI?
Those were real pictures.
So they no longer exist?
They might look a little different today.
Okay.
Look a little weather.
Yeah, thank you. I was just thinking it's good information for the public, I mean, to be able to drive by and see that.
All right, this brings us to calendar, Katie?
No, it's the solid waste, second. solid
Oh,
waste
that's
comments.
right, we got a,
And I do have someone registered.
okay. No, we got our last public comment section for solid waste.
And Mr. Ricky Manning will be making a public comment.
We jumped ahead of ourselves.
I'm Rick Mann from Bullhead, and I'm still doing all my investigating and paperwork digging, but this was a good time to bring up some of this, as we just established a new board for the solid waste. Main thing, I started on this way back when and been doing some serious digging. Dug for 3 hours a day, sitting at the EPD and the DNR office. All these files. This whole thumb drive is all full of non-compliance from the solid waste authority. Leachets mainly, going into the groundwater, going off of the stormwater drain. Y'all know I've lived out there, I'm the fourth generation, there's a couple behind me. I've watched the ecosystem from the natural drain of the swamp that comes around from behind the landfill, goes across, goes to what we used to call the old duck pond. That place is destroyed. It's either from contamination or it's either from the natural flow has stopped from the hills. I don't know which, but I will find out. So we're expanding landfills. We got a new board. Let's see if we can't fix the problems out there. Because y'all are welcome to look at any of this I have. Should be on files here at the county too. I've had maybe 2 inspections over 20 years that were in compliance. 2. That is ridiculous, folks. You know ahead of time when the inspections are coming. I've got those in the email chain too. So you mean to tell me you can't fix it when you know it's coming? Y'all know I'm big on environment. And just because I joined the team here and I'm part of the planning board does not mean I'm not going to stop protecting the environment and the people of this county. This came before me years ago from employees of the county that worked at that landfill. They brung this to me. And not long ago, they brung me some more. And so I'm digging, and I've got it here if you want it. It's all on this thumb drive, every bit of information on those landfills. And it would surprise you, if in case none of y'all have looked, now that we have chosen a new board, let's see if we can't fix the leachate that's going out into our environment out there. Before, here we are expanding, and yet we're still having the same problems that we've had for 2 decades out there, and we haven't fixed them. This is not award-winning, folks, and you know, I hate to even tell people about what's going on out there. That's why it's been in my file for all this time. But it's getting deeper. I've finally got DNR, EPD, Land Resources working with me from the state. And y'all know me pretty good. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to find out what destroyed all that stuff that we've been enjoying for 4 generations in my family out there, whether it be the flow or what. So anyway, thank you. Let's see if we can get something done with it.
Anybody else?
No, sir.
All right, now we need a motion to adjourn the Solid Waste Authority meeting and reconvene the regular meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn solid waste and convene the regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor? All right, now we need a motion for the chairman to sign the Solid Waste Authority Management Plan Consistency Letter.
I move to allow authorization for the chairman to sign the solid waste management plan consistency letter.
Do we have a second? All right, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Now we're at calendar, Kate.
The only thing I have is we do have a work session scheduled for 5 o'clock on April 15th. If, just wanted to put that out there. And that'll be prior to the 6 o'clock meeting. That's all I have.
County Administrator comments.
Got a couple for tonight, just a couple events coming up. We have a fire recruit graduation happening on April the 10th at 6 p.m. That's going to be held in the Little Theater at the Camden County High School Fine Arts Building. So I hope that everyone from the community can attend. And then lastly, we have our Citizens Academy coming up starting on April the 8th at 6 p.m. We are still taking applications until this Friday. Our applicants will be cut off at that time. And if you would love to come, we'd love to have you to come learn about the county and what each of our departments do for our citizens. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, this brings us to our last public comment section of the night. Anybody registered, Katie?
Yes. The first will be Ms. Laura Weston.
Good evening. My name is Laura Weston. I live at 61780 Jefferson Highway Road, Woodbine, Georgia, 31569. I was here to the meeting on the 18th and voiced the problem that I'm having, the ditch and the water overflowing and washing out my driveway as such. I made mention at the time that my mailbox had washed up out of the ground because of erosion. But I have put quickset there, and it's still, when that water comes, it don't help. Someone from Public Works came out, and they put the mailbox back up. But that's not really the problem. If the ditches is not dug where the water can have a flow and not keep washing out in the driveway, then what they did is it's not gonna last. Okay, I spoke to someone on the 24th. He came out on the 24th and did the mailbox. On the 26th, I spoke with somebody from Public Works. I'm not gonna name the person. But then he told me that my work should be done about the 1st of April. First week in April. This is the first week in April right here. Well, he said that his workload was whatever, but anyhow, he didn't have many people to do this. And in the same conversation, then he came back and told me he didn't have the equipment to dig the ditch. So I'm wondering, am I being shoved around, or is there something you're trying to do to help me with the problem I'm having? The guy just came up and said how you did a good job at the dock. This guy last week, the other week, you Ray? Your name is Ray? I think so. He said y'all did a problem that he had, and it was nice, and he came to give y'all praises and wonders of what the job you did. So I want to be able to do the same thing. I want to come back and let you know that you did a good job also. But now, like he said too, this is not just starting with me. This from previous commissioner, and it's just piling up. Like he said, it's piling up. So if you're going to do for some, you need to do for others, because I pay taxes also. And I wanted to find out, do y'all have a work study sheet that you go certain places at certain time? And am I on this agenda to come out to my needs? Whoever I need to talk to, whatever I'm talking to y'all, but anyhow, is there an agenda that you go by to know who's next or who's whatever? Or you just telling me something to get me off the phone? But anyhow, this is what I'm here for, and I'll be back because I'm tired. I really am. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else, Katie?
Yes. Ms. Dawn Carnell?
Good evening. My name is Dawn. I am a homeowner in Catfish Landing, and I know that several of my peers in that neighborhood have been before you for various things. My issues, I have two of them today. So one is, I have been told repeatedly, and I'm fairly new in that neighborhood, that we are not in the county, that our neighborhood was never adopted into the county. And the neighborhood is 20 years old. And yet I pay $6,000 a year in real estate taxes. So number one, what are my taxes going for if I'm not in the county? I'd love to have a refund or a freeze on my taxes until we are then adopted into the county. My second issue is that I know several of my neighbors have come to complain about beavers. We live on the creek, Catfish Creek. And my problem, I'm not going to complain about the beavers. I'm going to complain about the fact that we've had several major storms, Milton being the last one, where I had several trees down, my fences were damaged, and I had some repairs to do. And nobody has come through to get rid of, or at least try to re-clean the creek so that it flows. And I just know that we've got lots of rubbish and trees and limbs and blocking it. And it unfortunately is backing up onto my property. I know we've had lots of other people complain, mostly about beavers. We still have beavers. But I would love for somebody to evaluate, perhaps making it a priority, to go down and clear Catfish Creek just from those major storms that have occurred. That's it. Thank you for your time. Unless you guys could tell me about my taxes, that would be great. Am I in the county or not?
You're in the county. The roads were not accepted.
Okay.
So that's a little
So
different.
what does that,
Well,
go ahead.
wait till we get through the meeting. Stick around. I'll talk to you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, Mr. Robert Bauer.
I can't speak for all the districts within the county, but in District 2, man, I'm telling you, the ditches are nice and clean, the water flows real good, the culverts have been cleaned out so the water flows. The roads are being mowed periodically, and I think it's really looking good. April Fool!
I was going to say, where do you live?
All right, anybody else wish to speak for the board? All right, we need a, if there's nobody else, we need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, Chairman.
All right, do we have a second?
For lack of a second, we're going to stay here. Second?
All in favor? All right, we're done. Thank y'all.
Mr.